Guys, I came into this little cabin the other day. I was just walking around minding my own business. And I walked in here and there was something really cool up in this upper corner, right on that eave. You can probably figure out what it was. Well, it ain't there no more. Well, there it is now. I wonder what would happen that somebody would remove that, because everything was alive and well when I saw it. Are you sad yet? Uh-oh, did I delete something? Hang on, I'm looking. I think I might have deleted something. Well guys, we're still here at Brush Creek Falls Campground. We can't get enough of this place. I was talking to the owner yesterday trying to get some information about what goes on around here. And he said that their pool's closed and their mini golf course is closed because of the weather. It's been so cold lately. Well, last week, I guess it got warm and they started working on things and opening things up, or getting things ready to open up. We're just not quite there yet. Well, today, the weather took another turn and man, it's chilly. Let me show you what our data says. Take a look at this. I gotta pull it up first. Oh, do you remember the other day we were flying here and the wind was really bad? Well, it's died down. Right now we've only got gusts about 25 or so at ground level. But anyway, look at this information. I'm not sure which side it's going to be on, but it's 55 degrees right now, and it's oh, there goes my backpack. Who said it's not windy? I had to brace my tripod up against the picnic table. Anyway, like I was saying, we've got gusts in the low 20s right now, so flying a drone may not be a very good idea, but we're going to do it anyway. But the biggest story here is the temperature. It was almost 80 degrees yesterday, and now the high today is going to be like 56 or 57. This is my kind of weather. Anyway, I was asking the owner yesterday, I said, why is this place called Brush Creek Falls RV Resort? And he said, well, there's Brush Creek Falls is a couple miles down the road. He said, you might want to go check it out because it's pretty spectacular. Well, I took his word for it. Me and Christy went down there yesterday afternoon. We were blown away by that hidden gem that they call Brush Creek Falls. It was pretty amazing. There's always noise going on. I don't know what that is. That's the culprit. It's a man at work fixing an electric panel. I'm okay with that. Well, anyway, getting back to the falls, I couldn't take the drone yesterday because it's sort of like a conservation area. It's sort of like a state protected area. And they have rules again in West Virginia here about launching and landing from the state protected areas. And I couldn't get a hold of anybody to ask permission this time. So unfortunately, I just had to record it on my phone, but I got some pretty cool shots. Well, another thing the owner of this campground told me yesterday is that they're putting in what's called a mountain coaster up on that hill over there. And I saw some of the framework of it, and that's what caught my attention. That's what made me ask about it. He said it's a 3,600 foot long coaster that I guess you're transported up the hill, and then you're placed in this coaster, and then you ride this rails all the way down the hill and you do some loops and things like that. And it's supposed to be some great views. Well, that's not going to be open until June of this year, so we might have to come back next year to see what the final result is. But he said this park's growing, they're going to expand, and they've got all this different stuff that's happening. So come this time next year, this is going to be a totally different park. He said they're looking forward to having maybe 1,000 visitors a day or so for just the mountain coaster. That's going to be pretty neat. Well, I've seen videos of these mountain coasters in places like Tennessee, but come on, West Virginia is the mountain state. We've got to have one of these, right? All right, guys, we're getting back to business here. I know that you're here for the drone stuff again, like always, but a few weeks ago, we did a video where I did this return to home trick that nobody knew about except for one person that told me about it, and now I knew about it, and now you guys know about it because I think a lot of you guys watched the video. But the trick is if you want to quiet down your drone controller on the way home, with the RC2 controller, there's a mute button, and all you got to do is hit that mute button, and it'll take care of all that noise. The problem with that for me is that it muted Martha's voice, and I couldn't hear her talking and telling me, or giving me the heads up that, hey, the drone's landing or the drone is returning home. I like to hear her talk because I like to be informed. Well, that's what today's video is about. I'm trying to look for another alternative to where we can maybe get rid of the beep, but still have Martha. So we got a few comments on that video. One came from Fishing with the Oz. He said, I haven't gone into the menu screen much, so thanks for teaching me something new. I noticed that below the mute button, there's a volume slider, so it appears that you can lower the volume way down instead of muting it completely. Then we got a comment from MyFisher46. He says, on the same screen you find the mute, there's also a volume control. use that instead of mute, then you can hear Martha's voice and the beeping will be quieter. And then lastly, we got a comment from Mir Frank. Let me ask you a question, Frank Mir. Are you the Frank Mir, the UFC fighter that beat Brock Lesnar in one of the UFC fights? If so, welcome to the channel. Even if you're not him, that's cool too. You're still welcome to the channel, Frank. Anyway, he said about the landing beeping, underneath there's a line that says how loud your sound is. You can just make it a bit quieter. It doesn't have to be all the way down or muted. Well, I'm gonna take all of your guys' advice and I'm gonna launch Dwight here in just a second. And instead of hitting mute, I'm gonna use the volume control, and I wanna see if the volume control will turn down the sound of the controller, or if it just turns down Martha's voice. Because I just don't know. Never really messed with it before. I've always liked to keep it up all the way because I like to hear Martha talk. One of the things that I noticed when I unmuted it was the volume stayed all the way down, and I had the beeping of the controller, but I didn't have Martha's voice. So I'm wondering if I leave the mute on and I turn the volume up, if I'll have Martha's voice. I don't know, I'm confusing myself now. So let me go ahead and get Dwight up and running. We'll get him on the landing pad over there. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, it's right behind me. And we'll get this test going. Enough babbling, right? Or rambling. It sure did get bright out here. All right, Dwight, are you ready to do this? I got a fresh battery in, Dwight. I just charged the batteries all up fresh and new. They're all at 100%. Almost dropped them. Let me pull the antennas out. I'm starting to remember these last couple of flights. I've remembered the antennas. You guys proud of me? Now, let me turn on the controller here. Then I'll turn on Dwight. It is amazing to me how bright this screen is, and I'm in the middle of the sun. Come on, Dwight, turn on. And I've got the sun right behind me. But Dwight's gonna wake up here in just a second. I'm gonna go put him on the pad. There, he's awake. Ugh. Screen recording's going. There is Dwight's home. Look at the view he's got. He's got a view of a telephone pole, some trees, and an electric panel.
Home point updated.
All right, Martha said the home point's been updated here. I'm not sure why I showed you guys that view from behind Dwight. All you gotta do is look at the screen here, and you can see the same thing. But I don't see the electric panel. Oh, there it is. It's right there in the middle. All right, well, I'm messing with the gimbal. I probably shouldn't be touching that. Always something. I guess I'll wait until they turn their car alarm off to continue talking. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. Oh, there we go. Now I can talk. All right, so I'm gonna pull down the screen here. What is the battery power? Does that say 100%? I don't know why I can't get it to stop. Yeah, 100%. So I've got the controller charged up all the way too, along with Dwight's battery. Battery's now at 99% in the drone. But we've got 19 satellites. Can you guys see the grade of the grass there in front of Dwight? That's how crooked this landscape is. It's really, really not flat. Somebody just got home. So all I want to do is I want to, I guess, pull down the screen here. I'm going to hit mute. And what mute does right there, you guys can see, it just totally blocks everything. So I'm going to raise Dwight up into the air. Whoops. I don't know what I just did there. I'm going to raise Dwight up into the air. Where did the, oh, there it is. I lost my little banner there, or my little ticker saying that I was screen recording. I got scared and thought that it shut itself off again like it did last time. But I'm going to get Dwight up in the air. Let me adjust the camera here though. All right, camera's adjusted. So I'm going to get Dwight started here. And like I said, I got everything muted. And I won't hear her say anything at all on the controller about taking off or nothing. But, and I don't like that. I do like that there's no return to home noise. I do like that. But I want to see if we can, I don't know, get her voice back and still not have the beep. And look at the hills back there showing up. That's pretty awesome. I'm just going to fly straight forward here. I don't want to fly behind me because there's campers over there. And I don't want people to get irritated or upset that I'm flying a drone out here. I'm going to fly here to the left. Look at the wind. You can see the trees moving. So I'm going to hit return to home, and we're going to see if we have any noise at all. I don't think we're going to. I think it's going to just be totally quiet. So I hit return to home. I didn't hear a peep out of Martha. So we're going to let Dwight land, and then we're going to mess with the volume. We're going to lift him off again and mess with the volume and see if we have, I don't know, anything different. But he's right over top of us already. I can't hear him talking or hear Martha talking to tell me what he's doing. I'm going to pretend to be Martha. landing. How's that? And we're just gonna watch him land on the pad. I'm hoping that he lands directly on the pad this time, but it looks like he's being blown around by that wind quite a bit. All right, Dwight, can you do this? Get on the pad, buddy. He's concentrating, but he's a little bit forward of the pad still. I think he might be adjusting himself though, but he pulled his camera up so I can't tell. He caught a gust. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he is perfectly in the middle of the pad. Good deal. I know that part doesn't have anything to do with the test, but I like it when a landing is accurate. Okay, let me pull the screen back down here, and I'm gonna take the volume, I'm gonna unmute. The volume came back up. I'm gonna pull the volume all the way down, and I'm gonna see if we have the return to home beep whenever we bring him home. Now it just feels like it just got a lot windier. Whoops, let me pull the screen back up. It feels like it got quite a bit windier. Let me get Dwight raised up in the air. We'll get him up his 22 feet so he can continue his precision, because he's been doing a great job over the past several months. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna just go straight forward here. We're only 79 feet up in the air here, but as soon as we get over here, I bet you that we're 150 feet up in the air. There's a big drop off over here. Okay, so I've got, let me pull the gimbal down. So what have I got here? I've got the volume, let me pull the screen back down. I got the volume all the way down. I got it unmuted though. So hopefully we've got Martha's voice, or hopefully we've got at least some beeping for the return to home part. Yeah, we got the beeping for the return to home part. The beeping's back, and it's not any quieter than normal. It's just as loud as always. So we don't have Martha's voice, but we've got the beeping. So I think that we've got an answer to at least that question, right? So let me get the GoPro here. We'll get him up on Dwight. Looks like he's adjusting himself. I'll again pretend to be Martha landing. And he's fixing himself back on that pad. He's adjusting himself. He's looking good. He looks like he's gonna be right in the middle again. Let's go to the GoPro here and we'll watch him land. There's a truck that's leaving too, so hopefully they don't come over here. I'm again trespassing in whoever's campsite this is. I don't know whose campsite this is gonna be, but nobody has shown up here since we got here the other day. He's off the pad just a little bit, not too bad. Maybe it's her site. Maybe she's coming over here to scope it out. All right, guys, one more test. Let me pull the screen back down. I'm gonna hit mute, but I'm gonna turn the volume up, and it unmutes it. So we've got, it's unfortunate, but I don't think that we can have the sound on the controller muted and Martha hear her voice at the same time. I think that answers the question. Well, that sucks. That's not what I was hoping for. All right, so we've got it halfway up. Let me just change it to exactly halfway. I'm gonna pull the screen back up here. I'm gonna get Dwight started. We'll get him up in the air one more time, and we'll do one last flight. I know this is actually gonna be one of those videos that's not 30 minutes long. I think this is gonna be one of those videos that people appreciate because it's kind of quick. All right, let me get out just a little ways here, and we will hopefully have a different result, or a better result. But I don't know. I don't think that we can change the volume of the controller. I think the controller volume is either on or off. All right, so I went out a little bit further than normal. Let me hit return to home. We got that. Martha's voice is really, really quiet, but the controller is just as loud as it normally is. So I don't think that makes much of a difference. Let me pull it back down here though. I'll turn the volume all the way up. Yeah, the volume on the controller stayed exactly the same. It didn't change at all. I think we got a positive result here, guys. We know what's going on now. Landing. Oh, see, she said landing and she was yelling at me because I turned the volume all the way up. Hi, Martha. Glad you're awake. All right, so one last time we'll see Dwight land, and then we will call this a wrap for today. Let me go to the GoPro here, and we'll get Dwight on the screen, and we'll watch him land perfectly in the middle of the pad. We're just a little bit off. He's off to the left again. But it's not bad. It's he's still acceptable. I think personally, as long as he can get one or two of his feet on the pad, I think that counts as precision. Oh, look at that. He just got a gust of wind. I guess that doesn't count then, does it? Guys, you just can't script this stuff. I do think that we got a positive result here. I think now we know exactly what that volume thing does and exactly what the mute button does. Another question answered. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. God bless. I think the only person that had this question was me.